tomorrow because I'm filling the piece. So I want to get as far as I can with this particular session. So here we go. Let's get to it. Okay, I think that's it for this piece. This was a nice little practice piece, painted on sketch paper. So I think with the media that I use, it came out pretty nice. I'm happy with it. Um, this was a study piece to this was a study piece to try to see if I wanted to move forward with the skin texturing technique that I was trying out. It's an incredible technique, but I don't think I could work it into my workflow per se at its basic style. Meaning, it seems a little bit kind of mechanical for me. When I paint, I like to paint loose. I like to paint loose and free. So like it's been a while since I used this grid to lay in a piece, and it's kind of, and then you just kind of, then you have to build and kind of color your tonal values in and kind of paint them. And so I like to paint loose. So what I think is when I do my portraits and things like that, I want to get to a certain level of detail, but more simple. Simplify it. I think I still could tell the same story with a simpler format. Capture the eyes and the detail in there, but the rest of the piece kind of simplify it. Meaning skin also. I noticed when I was looking at a lot of the references that the people of color are the ones, the more textured skins that I see in the photos. And so, and I love to paint people of color because I'm comfortable with that. That's what I am. So I kind of know it. I don't have to reinvent the wheel when it comes to certain things when I'm doing that. So anyway, I like this the dotted check technique. I think I use it. I like to implement it. For example, if I'm doing something that's a little more standing out, more pertinent. Excuse me, meaning like a pimple or a mole or something like that, then I could focus on that, and then bring it out and then subtle little textures in. But by the most part, the skin, I like to keep it smooth, and you can see in this piece, a lot of the texture came out, but I would have liked it to come out where it's a little smoother. In other words, I really not gotta back into this like I did in the forehead area. I really pause for a second. Yeah, so some of that texturing I can still use in some of the finer detail areas, those type of things. And so I really like it, and so I want to practice it, keep practicing it, till I grasp it and really understand it a little better. And the only way I can do that for me is to practice it, really put in the time to get it to where I want to get it. when I paint, I like to paint loose, and so when I'm painting, I really like to come out. I want my art to be me, not necessarily a representation or a copy of the reference. The reference is for me is just that, a reference piece for me to pull concepts from, not literally the reference all the time. And so when I paint loose, I have that luxury to do that. I don't have to really capture the person all the way. So it'll be less of the detail and more loose of a style to get it in, to be able to tell the same story that I'm trying to tell. Okay, so as long as the art, I feel like the artist painting is me. It has to be me. I can't just be mechanical. Okay, step by step by step by step. I come from my background was mostly, my career was mostly built around IT, so I'm kind of a logical thinker, and like step by step by step, I try to make it simpler, simpler, simpler. In other words, try to get from A to B without having to go through all the major up nooks and crannies. Just get there, simplify this, simplify this, simplify that to get there. And that's the way I think logically. And I kind of bring that into my art where I like to flow loosely, and when you flow loosely, you start to see the larger, simpler shapes, and then I build on that. For me, anyway. So, yeah, that's what I like to do with that. Okay, and then last but not least, what you see here is I lay in the composition. I really like to lay in the background part of the composition, because for me, when I lay that in, it helps me really see what it is I'm working with in the subject, and how my tonal values are actually working in the whole composition. And then when you bring in the background composition, it really pulls the piece out. To me, anyway, it seems like it really pulls it out, makes it pop a little better than just sitting on a white background. Yeah, I'm kind of yawning quite a bit. I guess I'm tired. But anyway, I'm going to call this a piece. Get my pen here and put a little signature on it real quick. And whoa. Pause. Okay. I have to get the right pen again. I keep doing that. Okay, that's gonna do it for this little study project. Creating Art Over 70 with Cyan Rufus. Thank you once again for watching. Blessings. See you in the next project. Hello again. Real quick, did a couple of corrections in the eyes area and in the teeth area. I just wanted to try some things. So I did a couple little adjustments and corrections, and I blended in the skin a little more. It was looking pretty patchy, and I didn't like that. I wanted to look a little smoother, a little cleaner, so I blended it in a little bit to try to capture more of the contour of what the reference has there. So that's it. Once again, thank you for watching. Creating Art Over 70 with Cyan Rufus. Blessing. Painting with a Passion. See you next time.